my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup.misfit. As you can see, I'm not wearing any eye makeup as of right now because from the title of the video, I'm doing a palette bingo, which I'm so excited about for a couple of reasons. Now, I've always been tempted to do one, but I always thought that the filming process was going to be a little bit awkward for me. So I apologize in advance if it is. If it's a little bit weird, if it's a little bit off, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. This is the first time I'm doing this on camera. So it's going to be a learning curve, but I knew I couldn't pass this one up when I had seen the palette that was going to be used. So this idea came from Ruth. In her community tab, she posted to see if anybody wanted to join her on a palette bingo using the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. So of course I had to jump on this. If you watch my channel, you know how much I love this palette. And not only that, but this is my Panning Solitaire palette. So I figured why not show it a little bit extra love and do a palette bingo with it, along with a few other lovely ladies who will be linked down below. So I'm super excited about this. So the order, if you watch this Panning Solitaire project, there aren't going to be any spoilers. I'm filming this first and then the Panning Solitaire update right after this, but it gets posted on the 23rd of January. And this palette bingo is on the 26th. So there isn't going to be any spoilers. But I'm really excited because this is also my very first like actual collab, which is just so crazy to even think that I'm like included in this. So unreal. So the other lovely ladies who are doing this palette bingo will be linked down below, but you do have Ruth, who is the genius behind this this video. Then you have Andrea, pretty as a peacock, Amy and Melissa, DW from Dub's Beauty Diary, you have Dora, who's Fuchsia Soul, Erica Ashley, Marcia, who is Lady Mamwa, and Little Gemini Doll on Instagram. So please go check out those other ladies because I am so excited to see the looks that all of these ladies are going to come up with since we're all using the exact same palette. So if you watch Panning Solitaire, this is not going to be a surprise to you, but if you don't, my palette is broken. That is why I created Panning Solitaire, to get some use on this. But this is what my palette's looking like. So as of right now, I only have 2 shades left that I need to hit pan on. That is this shade down here, Vortex, and this shade up here, which is Haze. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to pull in at least one of the 2 shades that I still need to focus on in my 5. So I'm only going to randomize 4 numbers and then I will choose my last shade. I'm probably leaning more towards Haze because I feel like it's going to give me just a little bit of a challenge, whereas Vortex, even though I've been using it a lot more than I thought I would, because it like you can blend it out so nicely and it's not too deep and intense like I initially thought it would be. I feel like it's just gonna be a little bit too easy, but we'll see. I'm gonna see how I'm feeling. I might even pull in both. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll add a 6th shade. But I'm really excited to see what my color story is going to be like. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to randomize 1 through 15 because I'm not going to include these 2 shades. And then this shade here, Momentum, you can see is completely used up. That was my lid setting shade. So that one is gone. So I'm just going to randomize 1 through 15. We'll see what 4 shades I end up choosing. And then at least that way I know that I don't have a chance of rolling in either of those 3 shades that I'm not going to include in the rolling. So let's get started. I'm really excited about this. So we are going to pull out my other phone. Oh, I had something up. Okay. So 1 through 15, not 5, 15. Okay. So let's see the numbers. I want to see clear history. Okay. I want it to be fresh. So we have number 9, number 15. Okay. Number 8. And number 5. Oh, okay. Kind of glad I didn't include number 5 because that's Haze. So, nope, it's not. Oh, never mind. Okay, so we have, what do we have here? 5, 8, 9, and 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this shade right here is called Mercury. Now when I was using this, I did have a bit of a hard time with it. So I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm so excited. I love this shade Libra. So pretty. I use it as like my transition. Beautiful. Which means that number 9 is this shade here, which I also really enjoy, which is called Crash. I would also use that in my transition. This is going to be a fun color story. And then, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 is Frazzled. So this was the very first shade that I rolled in as Panning Solitaire. So we are, and I haven't used it since, so we are going back to that. So this is what the color story is looking like. So I'm going to pull in Haze just to give it a little bit of brightness. I should have brought something to wipe my hands with, but that's okay. So Haze, whoa, that was a big swatch. Okay. That's my color story. I'm really excited about it. I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. The only one I'm a little iffy about is this shade right here called Mercury. But you know what? We're going to make it through. We're going to get this. I'm really excited about it. So I kind of think I know what I'm going to do already. So we're good in that sense. I don't have to think about it too hard. Let me go grab something to wipe my fingers off with, and I will be right back. Okay. So I'm leaving my color story on the back of my hand. I've already like put my palette in my hands the way that I normally hold it. So again, I apologize if I'm not focusing on the camera at all. But we're gonna get started. So first I'm going to dip into the shade Crash here, and I'm gonna use that as my transition. So I'm hoping that this is going to, there we go, I'm a little bit more on focus. So I was, yeah, like I said, I was super excited about joining this project just because like I thought it would be so much fun to do a collab with a bunch of ladies who I really enjoy watching, and some that I have just discovered through this. So I think that's really fun. Sorry, chatting might be a little bit difficult here. But what I wanted to say was I'm so excited because I just hit 200 subscribers the other day. Like it happened on the 19th, and I was blown away. Like I couldn't believe it had been just under a year. It was just after my birthday last year. I think it was like, my birthday's March 3rd, so it was either the 4th or the 5th when I had hit like 101 subscribers, and I already hit 200, and it was January 19th. So like that just blew me away as is. And the fact that I'm up that high, like to a lot of people it doesn't seem like much, but to me that's like 200 people more than I thought would ever watch my channel. So like I'm pretty excited about that. I'm just dipping into Libra now. But yeah, I just like, I don't know, there's just something about, it's just exciting. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, I took a screenshot and I sent it to my friend. I was like, oh my God, I hit 200. And she was like so happy about it for me, which is just amazing that I have like that support from my friends. But yeah, it's just like incredible to think about. I couldn't even imagine that like a couple of years ago. I've actually had this channel for I think I started it in 2020, the springtime or so, or maybe it was like winter of 19. I can't quite remember, but I think like when I first officially posted a video was like spring of 2020, when I like just got into like the whole panning thing. It was like a what am I keeping, like kind of the other side of a declutter video. Just going into Haze here. And I think like nobody even knew about it. It was something that I kept a secret. I didn't tell anybody until I decided to post a video, a panning video. And it was one of my friends who encouraged me to actually go ahead and start this channel. And I couldn't imagine like not doing this now. I just enjoy it so much. I think it's just a nice way to, like, for one, work through my products and stuff like that, but it's also just a nice little, like, sit down, chat, you know, update you guys on, like, how things are going with my projects and whatnot, and just, like, kind of be included in that little community that's just amazing. I'm sorry if my rambling's not going to make any sense. It's kind of hard for me to talk and do this at the same time, but I'm trying. So right now I have Crash on the outer, Libra on the inner corner, or the center, and Haze is in the inner corner. So I think I'm just gonna build up a little bit here. But yeah, I don't know. This community is just so, like, supportive, which is incredibly nice to have. I had always wanted to start a YouTube channel like 10 years ago. And it wasn't even like, it wouldn't have been anything like this. I didn't really know what I wanted it to be. And that's kind of why I never actually, like, jumped and did it. But once I discovered panning, I was like, I already do this. I just didn't know there was, like, a name for it. And I don't necessarily, like, focus on eyeshadow palettes and make sure I hit pan and everything, but I have finished off, of course, like, the bronze or foundations and concealers, because those are just staple products in my collection that I'm never going to not use. But more or less, like, bronzers and blushes. Like, I have finished off some of them, maybe not as much as I have by focusing on what I have, because I would just play around with my collection, but also focus, like, thinking back now, I'm like, how did I even do my makeup before all of this panning stuff? But I would still kind of focus in on products. Then, like, if I hit pan on it, then I hit pan on it, and I kind of stopped using it, jumped towards something else. But I would also kind of play with my collection, but I never felt like I got use on my collection. I still focused on the same eyeshadow palettes. I still focused on the same blushes and highlighters. So doing it this way, I feel like I have gotten a lot more use out of my collection. I finished off products that I never thought I would, gotten my collection down a little bit in certain categories, which I do want to just kind of, like, I'm not doing this to create, like, a minimal makeup collection. That's not going to happen, at least anytime soon, and I don't want it to, so I'm fine with that. I'm not doing this to, you know, try and knock out as many products as I can in my collection. I just want to get use and just kind of see different ways to use products, different ways to pair things together. I've started layering a lot of products together. So, like, I'll layer highlighters on top of each other and blushes and stuff like that. And it, for one, helps me work through my collection a little bit more, but I've also discovered that I like the tones that it's giving me, or the finish that it's giving me, or I'll pair a couple highlighters together and it'll help with a shade that's a little bit too dark or a little bit too light. So I'll pair something lighter and darker together, and it just happens to work for me depending on the time of season and stuff like that. So I find that it's really been helpful, and I'm really enjoying with how I'm using my collection by doing this panning stuff. Okay, so next I have my crease done. So I'm going to dip into Mercury, and I'm going to try and put that on the outer corner. Okay, let's see how this works. This shade here kind of reminded me, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this, like, kind of reminded me of, like, the blue shade in the Astro Pink palette. Just maybe, I can't remember if it was this one or if it was that one that was just a little bit more impactful. Okay, we're gonna have to try and do this here. This is just going to be very light. I'm not going to expect anything too crazy out of this. I don't really like a super crazy and, like, bright blue. But I do feel like this shade's a little bit difficult to put on unless your brush is wet or unless it's with your finger. But if you do want something that's a little bit lighter, then, like, not so intense, then I feel like that's okay. I don't even know if it's really applying to this eye. I am, like, so out of the frame here. Okay, we're gonna switch to Frazzled. We're going to try and apply this just on the inner half. I might have to go back with my finger and see how this works. I'm so excited to see everybody else's looks and just to see like the combinations that they got and how they pair everything together. I think that this is a really fun way to get use on your palettes. Just try different combinations, ones that maybe you wouldn't have thought of before, pairing different shades together that you wouldn't have thought of before. Okay, so I think my lid is a little bit too dark for me. I'm going to go back into Mercury and just try to tap the outer corner just to give it a little something, but not too much. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 6th shade, but I'm going to choose that shade just to give it a little bit of dimension or a little bit of some lightness on my lids, because this Mercury shade just kind of throwing me off. So what I'm going to do, I wonder if I can use, I want to tap Supernova over everything. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Use my finger. I really don't have much of this product left, but I'm gonna just kind of tap that in the center to blend the two together and a little bit both ways. So the focus is in the center of the lid, but we're gonna blend it out both ways. Okay. Well, it is what it is. It's not the greatest, but hey, it's not the worst. Once I apply my liner and my mascara, everything's gonna like come together. It usually does. I'm gonna do that off camera because I cannot do that on film. I have to do that the way I normally do my makeup, otherwise it won't work. So I think, oh, a lot of fallout with that shade, that Mercury shade. I'm gonna go brush my face off. Do I want to add? It's a little bit. Do I want to do? No, I think I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. It's not my favorite look, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about how the look comes out. It was just more or less like the filming aspect of it. So I'm going to, it looks so much nicer on my hand than it does on my eyes. But I put Haze in the inner corner, Libra was in the center of the crease, and then Crash was on the outer corner. And then I put Mercury on the outer corner of the lid and Frazzled on the inner. And then I just decided to top it off with Supernova, just to give it a little bit of something and hopefully lighten up Mercury a little bit. I hope that worked. So I'm gonna go wash off my hands. I'm going to do my liner, my mascara, my brows. I will come back and let's hope that this look gets pulled together a little bit. We'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So my look is complete. I have added my mascara, my liner, my brows. It just kind of pulls it together a little bit. I do enjoy the look. Like when I was in my bathroom, I was like, oh, it looks so much better than it does, like sitting in my living room, looking at it through the mirror or the camera. But I do like it. And I knew that whatever shades I was going to pull from this, I was going to like the look. I've done a bunch of combinations with this palette and I've loved every look that has come out of it. So I'm so happy that Ruth came up with this idea to do a palette bingo with this palette. So again, please go check out the lovely ladies down below who are also doing this. I'm so excited and curious to see the shades that they're gonna get, the looks that they're gonna come up with, just the creativity that some of these ladies will have with their eye look. Mine was super simple, but it is what it is. Sometimes you can't do crazy looks all of the time. I like a little bit more simple, but still like there and impactful, but like, I don't know. Not too subtle, but not too crazy and in your face. So I'm happy with how my look came out and I love it. I'm gonna try and take photos. We'll see if that works. The side's a little bit, like the lid's a little bit creasier, so it's really difficult to take photos and that's my good side. So maybe it's not so good, but it is what it is. If I have photos, I will post them. If not, I apologize, but I did try. So again, thank you so much to Ruth. This was so much fun. Please, again, go check out the ladies. They're down below. Anything else is down below. I am going to put a link to my Panning Solitaire project down below if I didn't already mention that. If you're curious to see how the love on this palette came about from never being used to what it's looking like now, you can go check that out down below. I will be filming that, but that has already gone up on January 23rd. So that's everything. I want to apologize if my rambling was kind of all over the place. It is a little bit difficult for me to talk and do makeup, but it is what it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really had fun filming this, and that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.